Hey, what's going on, guys? So this is going to be my out-of-box review here for the Strelitzia here from Good Smile Company's Moderoid line. This is the first time I've ever built anything from the Moderoid line of kits. It's basically Good Smile's line of sort of mecha kits. And I've also, again, just want to say that I've never seen the series, so I don't really know anything about the series, but I just like the design of the Strelitzia. It's really cool looking, and I thought the kit looked pretty cool as well, so I wanted to check it out. And after building, I gotta say, I'm actually really quite impressed with it. I had heard it has some issues, and I don't know, I may still discover some of those over the course of the review. But at first, or at the moment I should say, I'm really quite impressed with it. The construction of it was really quite interesting. Of course, it's a pretty unique design and made by a company that I've never built one of their model kits before, so it's always interesting to see how it came together. I said in the unboxing that it did feel like the plastic did feel a little bit cheap, sort of similar to like a bootleg kit or something from China or something like that, and it did feel like that a little bit, but you know, once the kit came together, I think it does come together really nicely. It does have pros and cons, but I believe that just the overall cool factor definitely makes this kit worth checking out if you're a fan of the design. So let's get into it, and I'll show you guys everything that the kit comes with here first. So the first thing you have here is a set of stickers, and these are all just color correcting stickers. I didn't end up using any of these. These black ones go like in the vents or on the skirts. These couple of red ones go on the shields, and a couple of these like red stripes go around on the weapons, around the wrists. You have some different eye sticker options here. That's because for our face, we have this one that has the eyes pre-printed on there, like the kit has a lot of pre-painting on there, which I'll talk about that more in a moment. Then you have another optional blank face here, which has some pre-painted red parts on it, but doesn't have the eyes, so you can choose between some of these eye stickers if you want to have those on there, closed eyes, or looking left, looking right. And they also have this open mouth option there if you want to have it having an open mouth. Just use any of these stickers there. Then as you can see, it does actually stand up well enough on its own. It is kind of hard to get it to stand up. You have to have it balanced pretty well, because obviously it's standing on these just little tiny high heels, and this part here for the back, which moves, doesn't really want to stay open very well, so you kind of have to set it really carefully. But you do have this optional, basically just like a leg to make it a tripod essentially. Around here on the back, this just plugs into there. Then that will help it when it's standing up on your shelf or whatever not to fall backwards, so it just gives it some nice little extra support. But in case you didn't want to use that, you also have this adapter piece which will allow you to connect it to any regular stand. So any like Kotobukiya or Bandai stand, they all use the same 3mm peg here for that, so you can use this adapter piece instead if you wanted to plug this onto just a regular action stand or a flying base from Kotobukiya. Then you have this kind of shield part, I guess. It's kind of lame in that like the back is just kind of this empty piece. I wish there was a piece for the back of this, but that would kind of make it, I guess, a little bit bulkier, a little bit heavier. It's just this one piece. And a couple of the stickers are supposed to go on the lower part of this, so I guess that would make it look a little bit better if you weren't going to be painting it. But this just clips on here to the front of the arm, I guess. There we go, on there, and then it's just plugged on via a ball joint, so you can kind of move it around a little bit, but basically just going to be rotating it a little bit side to side, but that just plugs onto there like that. So from the front it looks fine, it's just like from the back it's gonna look just like a empty hollow piece there. And then of course its main weapon here is the very long lance weapon, the Queen Pike, I guess it's called. So this is pretty cool, very long. It has a little plug here for plugging that onto the hand. Otherwise the handle is here, and you actually have a separate handle for this. You swap the handle out for this one, which has the hand pre-molded together with that if you want to have this holding onto this forward handle there. You also have this flexible wire here which will plug into the back of it for plugging that together. And so let's talk about the hands, because that is another thing here. These are the only hands that you have included with the kit. This open left hand here, so that's your only option for that, and then this open right hand. But as you can see, that has like a peg on the inside of there. That's for plugging onto that hole there on the lance. So you can't really, I mean, if you wanted to have this just open hand without that in there, you'd have to cut that out. And then the only other hand option that we have is the one that's just pre-molded onto the handle here. So kind of wish that this would have come with a couple more hand options, just a couple of closed fists, or at least an open right hand that doesn't have the peg inside of there if you wanted to display this without holding this. But I guess you're probably going to want to display this holding onto the lance, of course. So that easily enough just plugs into the hand, and then this tube is going to go around here to the back, plug into the other side of that part on the back there where the stand is plugged into, like that. So it's a pretty awesome looking weapon and some nice color separation on it as is, but there are a few more stickers that go on that if you wanted to add the full color separation or paint those in yourself. But let's get this stuff off for a moment and talk about some of the articulation of this now. First of all, the head is kind of feels like really fragile and kind of hard to put together, because you have all these little bits of yellow out to the front, this big spike out to the front there, these kind of big like rabbit ear looking things on the top of the head, and these hairs out the back. So when you're putting the whole thing together, there's like nowhere really to hold it securely without having to press down on one of these little bits sticking out, so it's a little bit hard to put together. And some nice pre-painting on here, I said on the face, also on these little red tips on these like kind of spike bits there on the side of the head. And the horn is actually pre-painted as well in that bluish gray color, and then the red and yellow is pre-painted on there. The yellow on the little necktie part there, this red here on the front of the body, over around here underneath the shoulders, that red for the inner part there, that's also pre-painted. And strangely enough, this part here, like at the tailbone of it, is pre-painted. Not sure why, because the red color is just slightly different from the red of the rest of the kit. So that was molded on the runner with all the other red parts, but it was actually painted. So it's kind of hard to tell, but it's really strange. I'm not really sure why they did that. But anyway, on with the articulations. So the head, like I said, kind of carefully moving that as best you can. It does kind of point up about as far as it's possibly going to go before the hair is basically running into the rest of the body down there. And then back down to there to about the position that I had before. So kind of wish that you could be able to tilt down a little bit more, and it's on a ball joint so you can turn that whatever as well. But because of the giant shoulders and everything sticking off of the head, there's not really much room for that to move around, but it can move around a little bit. There's not really any articulation here in the body at all, and the shoulder joint is actually here out on the end of this long extended shoulder out there, so that we'll be able to swing side to side like that and rotate here on this joint as well. This whole top part of the shoulder armor is on a ball joint, so that can kind of move around a little bit as well, not really a whole lot. And the inner part is also on a hinge, so that can move up and down. Just take off that shoulder armor for the moment just to make this a little bit easier to show you. The arm can also rotate there at the top like any other kind of normal arm, but this is very stiff. There are some joints on this kit that are really, really stiff, so you're going to want to be a little bit careful. It's good for stability, but just be careful when you're moving the kit around because this one is really stiff there. So it does rotate there, and then we have, of course, a joint at the elbow, which will give you a pretty good bend there. The wrist joint is kind of interesting, as it's kind of in there, sort of similar to like a Frame Arms Girls kit. So you have like a hinge and pegged wrist, so it can move forward and back, and then you can rotate that as well, so it works pretty nicely. Here's one of the few areas on the kit where you have a seam line here just on the white parts above the wrist. And just to quickly touch on the rest of the seam lines on the kit, you have one here on the side of the body, on the side of the waist, and then on the legs all the way down between the front and back half of the upper leg and the front and back half of the bottom leg is where you're going to have your seam lines on the kit. The hips is another joint that's really tight on this kit, so you want to be careful, but those can move out to the side and in like so. You can also rotate those, of course, forward and back. You can get this up for a pretty high kick, and I'm just really disappointed at this seam line here on the lower leg. For the most part, all the seam lines on this kit press together well enough, but this one I just couldn't get it to press together firmly, and it's because of the polycap in there. The polycap in there is just a little bit too large. But the parts fit together really well before you plug in the knee joint, but as soon as you plug the knee joint into there, then it kind of expands out the polycap a little bit and it just pops the seam open. So just be a little bit careful about that. These kind of side skirt bits on the side are also on a ball joint, so you can kind of move those around. And then the front and back parts, these little bits are also on separate ball joints, so those can also move around on their own. For the knee bend, you can get that bent to all the way to there, so it's a pretty nice knee bend for that. And then there's nothing really at the ankle. The lower leg just comes straight down to the feet, and as you saw before, we just have this little bit on the back of the foot that opens up like that, and that's pretty much it. This part on the front doesn't move at all, it's just fixed like that. So while the articulation is really not that bad, it is just kind of fragile, and when you're trying to move the kit around, you have to be careful of the little fragile bits on the head, and on the opposite end of that, you have the really super tight joints in other areas, so it just makes it a little bit difficult to do a lot of posing with. I feel like if you're a really big fan of this design and you wanted to have something to put up on your shelf, I think there's also a Figma or something like that that I think will maybe be better for you. If you just wanted something to pose up in a cool pose and put up on your shelf, that would probably be better. But that said, I think you could still perfectly enjoy this, even if you do want to just put in minimal effort, just snap it up and just put it on your shelf as it is. It does look really good even without putting on the color correcting stickers on it. And as for the stickers, I feel like the color apps that are made up by the stickers would be pretty easy to just paint in yourself. You'd have to match the color, of course, to the plastic, but it's basically like red, yellow, white. It's not really that difficult. I think if you wanted to paint in the little bits without painting the whole thing, or obviously go in and paint the whole thing if you want. And just to give you guys a size comparison, here it is compared to a standard 1/44 scale HG kit. So you can see it's pretty tall. It's about the size of, I guess, probably more closer to the general height of a master grade kit, although it's very different proportions, obviously. But other than that, not really a whole lot much else to say about the kits. I think this is another one of those where you should just be aware of what you're in for before you go ahead and get this kit. I think if you really want to make this kit look its best, you're going to have to do a little bit of seam line removal, a little bit of work on some of the joints. You may want to sand or file down some of like the pegs on there just to loosen them up a little bit, because they're just going to get even tighter once you start getting some paint and stuff on there as well. But as I said in the beginning of the review, no matter what you end up doing with this kit, I think the best thing about it is just its overall cool factor. It's just a really cool looking kit in kind of whatever pose or whatever state you end up having it in. For the list price of around $50, I think that, you know, it might seem a little bit high considering the construction of this. I mean, while it is pretty nice and you have some really nice detailed parts on there and some nice pre-printing on there, I mean, the essential like construction of it is really not going to be that much more than what we would compare to like a Bandai high-grade kit. So that price tag may seem a little bit high, but considering it's from a pretty small, relatively small company, and it's kind of like a really niche kind of thing where there's basically just not really any other option as far as a model kit of the Strelitzia here, it's kind of more apt to compare it to something from Kotobukiya rather than from something from Bandai. And so you might find the list price a little bit high, but again, if you know what you're getting yourself into with the kit and you're willing to put in some work to it, I think that price is going to be totally justified for some pretty awesome end results when you're done with the thing. So I hope the review has been helpful for you guys. If you do have any other further questions or comments, of course, feel free to leave those down below. And thank you all so much for watching, guys. Have a great day. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Hey! Thanks for watching, guys. Remember, if you want to check the kit out for yourself, you can head over to USA Gundam Store, use that coupon code ZakuAurelius10, save yourself 10%. Thanks for watching, guys. See you next time. Bye-bye.